Hi guys, it's ASBYT, and what this phone can do here is pretty magical. Oh, and it's a world's first as well. Let me explain. Right, so a very brief history of the smartphone industry in case you didn't know. Over the last maybe 5 years or so, the trend or drive from smartphone manufacturers is to make the displays larger and shrink the bezels, with the overall end goal, the fully bezel-less display. You may have heard that term being used many times before. Display perfection. Great for viewing media, gaming, scrolling through social media posts from people we don't know and whose content is absolutely abhorrent and makes us feel generally less intelligent by the end of it. Just me? Okay. Now, of course, to get to this fully bezel-less display, many obstacles have to be overcome to get there, and up till now, every one of them has been, other than one. Apple fixed the bottom chin display by, in simple terms, being able to wrap the OLED display in the iPhone X under itself to connect it to the motherboard. Samsung and Huawei phones have had the Infinity edge-to-edge curved panels with just a side rail present. Gorgeous. But no one could fix the top edge of the phone to create an uncompromised alternative to a full top forehead bezel. It's become an endless search, the holy grail, to find new homes for the phone earpiece speakers, sensors, and of course that front-facing camera for all our unnecessary selfies that no one else really wants to see in this narcissistic, self-indulgent world that we now live in. We've seen manufacturers creating speakers under the display through vibration technology to deliver sound, and sensors have been squeezed into new places, so the only thing left was to find a way to have a working front-facing camera that didn't interrupt the overall viewing experience. Apple had the notch, the essential Android phone started the water drop or teardrop trend, which then led on to the punch hole cutouts. Good, but still far from ideal for symmetry lovers. And probably the closest thing we've come to a full-screen beauty has come from manufacturers like Vivo with the motorised pop-up cameras, which also came with durability concerns and some questionable functionality. So in 2020, smartphone manufacturers just gave up. It was too hard. Or did they? Enter the ZTE Axon 25G, the world's first purchasable smartphone that has been able to embed the front-facing camera under the display. Finally. And it actually works. Now, before we look at this phone in more detail, I must stress that it's not just this device that's so exciting, it's what it represents and the future that we could have because of it, as you'll see in a second. And make no mistake about it, companies like Apple and Samsung in particular, with the resources they have been working on this technology and have been unable to produce a viable product as of yet. So this is really impressive. If you look at the display, it appears to have no front-facing camera there at all. But then when you open the camera app up and flip it to front-facing, boom, there I am, as if by magic. Close the app, where's the camera lens? So how on earth does it work? Well, according to ZTE, they've developed 5 core technologies that all work in conjunction. There's like a transparent film layer that allows in more light, there's an independent driver chip and a special pixel matrix to help improve the consistency of the display, and crucially, there's a special algorithm that takes in the picture's limitations that occur due to being partially blocked by the display and alters the image accordingly. Very quickly, if you're enjoying this video so far, a sub would be awesome. Oh, and I never do these. Let's do a like target. 10,000. Never going to happen, let's do it. Now, like with any first-gen product, it's not perfect. If you look at it with the screen off, for example, you can notice a faint square where the camera is housed. And if you pixel peep when watching content in full screen, you will see a slightly off square in terms of sharpness of picture, but you have to be looking for it. The actual camera quality, as you can see, also isn't the greatest, as there's a definite slight haze to the image because it's, of course, coming through a screen. But it's amazing that this is even possible. And imagine what a Samsung, an Apple, a Huawei could do with the resources they have and this kind of tech. We knew back in 2018 that Samsung were working towards this future, and punch holes were just a stopgap. So it seems they are waiting to make sure the tech in their displays is as uninhibiting as possible on camera performance before they release it. Samsung and Xiaomi are just 2 of the huge companies that are rumoured to be producing a device in 2021 that uses this kind of technology, and Apple might not be too far after as well. For the Apples and Samsungs of this world, there's a far greater risk in producing a device that uses kind of first-gen technology as a backlash could be potentially hugely damaging. Look at the Gates of this world and, you know, the Samsung Galaxy Fold, the issues that had. Whereas for companies like ZTE, while they're still a big company, they're not quite on that level, and therefore they can afford to use a possibly slightly half-baked technology, knowing that being first in any major breakthrough is huge in a growing tech market. Think Royole or Royoli with the FlexPi. Most tech lovers now know who they are based on them being the world's first fully developed foldable tablet/phone, even though the product wasn't actually that great. If you are an early adopter and did want to pick this up, what kind of overall package would you be expecting? Well, it goes on sale in certain regions from the end of this month, and I believe it's going to retail for roughly around £400, but don't quote me on that. And the ZTE Axon 25G is unremarkable, but solid. Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, a 4220 mAh battery with 30 watt fast charging, and 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. There's a 6.9-inch 90Hz Full HD Plus OLED panel, Android 10, a 64 megapixel quad camera setup with an ultra wide, macro and depth, and there's a headphone jack. No, there's not. Triggered! Sorry, it's funny. It's funny. Come on. That's funny. It's not funny. So solid without being breathtaking, and it does most things pretty well, but that's not why you're going to buy this phone, is it? It's going to be for the fact that you're going to have your hands on the world's first retail-ready smartphone that has an in-display front camera and a finally, bezel-less display. It's quite the title. Tip of the hat to everyone involved at ZTE for this product, and can't wait to see what other products come in the future with this sort of tech. Samsung, etc. will almost certainly produce a product like this in the near future, and I would probably wait for that than buy this because it will probably be slightly more refined because they've had longer to test it, but they weren't the first. You may have already seen a sneak peek of this phone a couple of days ago if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Yeah, no dances, just tech. So definitely go over and follow me on those channels if you want sort of sneak the peek. I was going to say sneak peeks. Sneak peeks, early access, behind the scenes kind of stuff. Drop a like and sub down below. If you are new and love everything tech, I have some pretty sick content coming over the next year. 2021 is going to be huge. Check out some of my other videos that are dotted around here if you're interested. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. Stay ASBYT. Peace out.